Hello, my name is Laurel Ward. I'm a resident of Homer Township and campaign chairman of the Committee to Incorporate Homer Glen. We'd like to share some information with you about the situation in Homer and explain how incorporation can protect our community and preserve our quality of life. This is a map of Homer Township. The area in yellow designates the village of Homer Glen. This area in pink that you see are Homer Township lands that have already been annexed by the city of Lockport. And the blue area down here are Homer Township lands that have been annexed by New Lenox. We'd like to begin our presentation by explaining the single greatest threat to our community, development.
Hello, my name is Gail Snyder, and I'm a resident of Homer Township and a member of the Committee to Incorporate Homer Glen. The map you were just looking at showed you the boundaries of Homer Township. This map shows you the large tracts of undeveloped land in Homer Township that may be developed someday. The orange areas that you see on the map are lands that are owned by developers or investors. The purple areas that you see on the map are lands that are owned by farmers. As you drive through Homer Township, you're going to see a lot of land that's farmed, and this can be misleading. A lot of times developers own lands that they lease to farmers to be farmed, until such time that the developer decides to rezone, subdivide, and develop their land. The blue areas that you see on the map are large tracts of land that could also be developed at a later date. Overall, all the lands that you see on this map represent 8,800 acres of land that could be developed in Homer Township. That's about 13 square miles, and it's over 1/3 of Homer Township. Although many of us enjoy these large tracts of undeveloped land, they make our community vulnerable. They make us vulnerable in two ways. The first way is that Homer Township government cannot control the type of development that occurs on these lands. Will County is the ultimate authority of what will be developed on these properties. And often, Will County doesn't support Homer Township's decisions or what the residents want when land is developed. The second vulnerability is a number of large tracts of land have been annexed to surrounding municipalities and will continue to be annexed to surrounding municipalities. Those municipalities become the ultimate authority for how that land is developed. All of this land is within Homer Township school districts. When development is out of our control and in someone else's hands, it impacts us and we pay the penalty. Now I'd like to show you how just one of these tracts of land will impact Homer Township. This land is near Wilcook Road. This is a map of the area I just showed you. Homer Township zoned this land for under 500 homes. The developer would like to build 1,400 residents, including apartments and condos and townhomes. On Gauger Road, one of Homer Township school districts is building a new junior high that will serve 750 students. That school is costing $14 million to build. If Will County allows this subdivision to be built, the 3,000 students from that subdivision will create a need for 4 more schools, which could easily cost $56 million. Homer Township government cannot make the developer pay impact fees to the school districts because the area is unincorporated. When developers don't pay impact fees, anyone who is within the same school district picks up the bill. That's you and I in Homer Township. With 65% of your property tax bill going to schools, how do you think this type of development will impact your tax bill? And this subdivision only represents about 450 acres of the over 8,800 acres of land that could be developed in the future. If we incorporate into the village of Homer Glen, we can make developers pay the impact fees that other municipalities make them pay. This is what municipalities do to offset the cost of growth into their community. This is why you need to vote yes for incorporation, to help our community as we grow. Annexations into Homer Township have created a number of the problems that I've described to you earlier. I would like to show you how these annexations have occurred and how they're going to continue to occur into Homer Township if we don't incorporate. In 1988, the city of Lockport annexed a small area of Homer Township. Then, in 1991, Lockport annexed almost 1 square mile, and the subdivision known as Broken Arrow was built. By the end of 1994, they had annexed more land along the western boundary of Homer Township. By 1998, Lockport had annexed across Gauger Road and the tollway. This is something the anti-incorporators said would never happen. Also by that time, New Lenox started to annex into Homer Township. This is also something the anti-incorporators said would never happen. By the year 2000, Lockport had annexed across Cedar Road, something the anti-incorporators also said would never happen. Lockport also received permission from the tollway to annex the tollway right-of-way in this area once they become contiguous to it. And New Lenox annexed more land into Homer Township as well. The situation in the year 2001 is that Lockport is asking permission from the tollway to annex these 2 sections of tollway right-of-way. New Lenox seeks to annex the land shown in the blue stripes, and Lamont wants to begin annexing land into Homer Township, starting with the area shown in orange stripes. The anti-incorporators have always said that Lamont was not interested in Homer Township. If Lamont annexes that area, they will then be able to continue annexing the commercial areas along Bell Road and 143rd Street. By this March 28th, the city of Lockport will have annexed these 2 additional parcels of land in Homer Township. These parcels make them contiguous to the tollway near 159th Street. If the tollway approves Lockport's request to annex the tollway right-of-ways, even over Homer Township's objections, Lockport will then be able to annex the entire length of the tollway to the northern boundary of Homer Township. Lockport will then most likely request permission from the tollway to annex the remaining tollway right-of-ways to the south. This means that Lockport will have access not only to the tollway, but to the large tracts of undeveloped land that are adjacent to it. If the pending annexations I have just shown you occur, that will mean that in the last 7 years, we will have lost almost 5 square miles to the surrounding towns. This is Lockport's map of its comprehensive plan. Nowhere in this map does it show that Lockport intends to annex into New Lenox and develop, anywhere in Joliet, Crest Hill, or Romeoville. What it does show is that Lockport has a plan for the entire 36 square miles of Homer Township. It clearly shows that their intention is to develop land all the way through Homer Township to Wilcook Road. As you have seen, the surrounding municipalities plan to extend their boundaries into Homer Township. By incorporating into the village of Homer Glen, we'll be able to stop the encroachment of these municipalities into Homer Township within the boundaries of Homer Glen. Homer Glen will also then have the ability to annex unincorporated areas into its boundaries. If you look at the map where Lockport has annexed, you can see that they are only 2 small parcels away from the Will County Forest Preserve. Once contiguous to the Will County Forest Preserve, Lockport can annex anywhere on any of the boundaries of the Will County Forest Preserve. At this point, if they are successful, they will only be 1 or 2 parcels away from annexing this large area that I had shown to you earlier. If that occurs, they will annex all the way to Wilcook Road. That will cut the unincorporated areas of Homer Township in 2. What that will create is a situation where we will never be able to ever again incorporate a large area of Homer Township. An incorporated area has to be contiguous to itself. This will cut our area in half. So you may ask yourself, why haven't we incorporated before? It's because the anti-incorporators said that everything that I just showed you would never happen. It's happened, and it will continue to happen unless we incorporate into the village of Homer Glen. You have to ask yourself, if the municipalities and developers are allowed to develop uncontrolled through Homer Township, what will our community be like in 10 years? The future of Homer Township rests in your hands. Vote yes to incorporate on April 3rd.
Now, you're probably wondering what costs would be associated with running the new village. The two primary expenses of the village would be police protection and the highway department. Now, the monies to fund the highway department are already being collected by the state and the county. On your property tax bill, there's a line item titled road funds. These monies are currently being collected by the county and are forwarded to the township based on the number of miles within the township, and Homer Township provides you with road service. With incorporation, these same monies would be collected by the county, only they'd be forwarded to the village of Homer Glen. Through an intergovernmental contract, we would then forward the money to the Homer Township Highway Department, and they would provide us with road services. Additionally, as a municipality, we gain access to state taxes that come from motor fuel taxes. These monies can be used by the village of Homer Glen for road and bridge work. So the costs of providing road service do not change. There are no additional costs to you. Additionally, as a municipality, we gain access to revenues currently collected by the state. These include sales tax revenues and per capita taxes. These state funds are only available to us as a municipality, and we estimate they'll generate over $2.5 million annually that can be used by our village for services such as police protection. For police protection, we proposed a contract for service with the Will County Sheriff's Department. Contracting for police protection has become a national trend as it reduces your overhead costs and eliminates the need to build a station. We could use the monies collected from the state to pay for this service, and it would provide us with the same number of officers as currently patrol our area, except these officers would be dedicated to the area of Homer Glen. Now, should the citizens of Homer Glen wish to increase their police protection, then a municipal tax would probably be needed. The rate of 30 cents per $100 of equalized assessed value would generate the revenues necessary to increase our police protection. This rate would amount to $200 on a $200,000 home. However, before a municipal tax could be added, it must first be approved by voters through a referendum. Through incorporation, we can gain control of development and the effects it has on our schools, infrastructure, environment, economy, and taxes. We can recover monies that should be available to our community. We can develop our own comprehensive plan that identifies the goals of our community. We can identify our own economic corridors and encourage commercial enterprise that is consistent with the character of our community, and no one will ever again take them from us. If the encroachment of the surrounding towns is not stopped now, it will only be a matter of time before Homer Township is nothing more than a memory. The future of our community is in your hands. In order to save our community, you must vote yes for incorporation.